Students, today topic is all about settlement of chapter first, this bricks, beats and bones. One of the most unique feature, if we talk about this civilization, was the development of urban center, large urban center, and the most interesting fact of this settlement or the city is its town planning. Okay, you can see almost all sites or settlement were divided into two parts almost. Okay, one is the citadel, another one is the lower town. Okay, then if we talk about the citadel, it's in the higher mount. Okay, on the western side. So when we talk about the town planning, here you can see there was a division. Okay, division, or it is divided into two part. One side, on the eastern side, was the lower town, which were at a low elevation. Okay, low elevation, and you can see it's larger in size, whereas in the on the western side you can see there is a citadel or forts. Okay, which are smaller in size and on a higher mount as compared to the lower town. Okay, especially here you can see this was inhabited. If we talk citadel or fort was inhabited by the ruling class, or and whereas we talk about lower town, it was for the common people. You can see several large building, whatever building or construction structures are developed here, है ना, on this citadel, suggests that this area may be used for public gathering, okay, religious activities and important administrative activities. Okay, if we talk about the area of Mohenjo-daro, Harappa and Kalibanga, so certain uniformities in their planning, as the division of the citadel and lower town, as this you can say it is fortified, even the lower town was also fortified, and here the division of between, you can see it is divided into two part. Unlike Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, okay, here comes the Lothal and the Surkota. It is what? It is in the rectangular shape. Okay, if we say we find in the previous we saw that there was a division, okay, separate, but here demarcation it was separated, but here you can find a rectangular shape divided by a wall into two equal segments. Okay, with an elevation, and then you can see they are termed as acropolis, or you can see citadel or lower town. Dholavira in a Kutch region show a different pattern where there are different segments. You can see here, if we talk about it, show different patterns where there are different segments. Okay, segments, here you can see different segment in the lower town, in the middle town, middle town, and you can see citadel, it's itself divided into two called as castle and bailey, where castle is for ruling class and bailey where the official live. Mohenjo-daro was the only city without a citadel. So what we see that there was a demarcation between the citadel and the lower town. In almost town or city, but in some side they were having different pattern of town planning. At Mohenjo-daro, what was noticeable were the extensive platform on both on the citadel and in the lower town, okay, for protection from flood. So here we can see the platform which is made up of brick. It brick either it is dried brick, sun dried brick or burnt brick. Okay, so here you can see this platform on the citadel was 12-meter high, on which various buildings were constructed. Okay, it may be sometime as a foundation for an entire area or for a single building. Here we can see the wall and the extensive platform as it is 12-meter height. Okay, illustrate that there was a extensive use of labor during that time. Portiel suggested that Mohenjo-daro platform would have taken about 4 million days of labor to construct. This means that it would 10,000 labor working 400 days or a little over a year. Okay. The archaeologists believed that the technology of protecting the settlement from flood through the use of this platform, that's why they have raised its elevation. As both Lothal and Rangpur in Gujarat, mud bricks platform were constructed as a portable flood protection measure. So somewhere this wall and this platform, uh, they are made for defensive purposes, protection from flood. So let's have a look on this picture. It's a citadel, okay, which is in Mohenjo-daro. So here you can find some of the structure, okay, architectural structure you can see here in this picture, okay, and so many names of the archaeologist, okay. So the first archaeologist who excavated the site was Rakhal Das Banerjee, and after him a large excavation took place under Narayan Dikshit and John Marshall, which was further carried out by Ahmad Hasan Dani and Mortimer Wheeler. The last major surveys of excavation were conducted in 1964 and 65 by Dr. George F. Dells. Okay, after 1965, excavation were banned due to the weathering damage to the exposed structures and salvage excavations, surface surveys and conservation project. So you can see some of them are named this archaeologist because these sites or these places were excavated by these archaeologists. These archaeologists believed that citadel was fortified settlement and consisted some important structure. Okay, so here we can see the structure, especially if we talk about this stup, okay, Buddhist stup in the east, and you can see granary or warehouse in the western side. Then at the center you can see great path. In the northern side you can see great courtyard with college. Okay, in the southern side, come below, you can see a pillared hall which is used as an assembly hall. It is believed that this stupa, it was built during the period of Kushana dynasty. Okay, was surrounded with monk cells, and you can see other building in square. It is other building in the square shape. Then comes the very important architect. Architect is the warehouse. The Great Hall is a large building. It's a large building, and it is believed to have been a granary. Okay, this is the massive structure of this citadel of this civilization, especially Mohenjo-daro. Okay, it was the storage house for granary. And when we talk about the construction, it was divided into 27 blocks. Okay, and you can see the lower portion was the platform made up of brick, and the upper portion was probably of wood decade long ago. So as the archaeologists believed that the upper portion would be probably made up of made up of woods. Here there was a platform for loading the grains, okay, into the storehouse. Alternative theory is that it is a store, it is a public hall. The actual function of the building has yet not been determined. On the east of this warehouse there is a very important architecture is the Great Bath. You can see a 3-meter deep depth, 12 kilometer long and 7 kilometer wide. It is a rectangular tank in a courtyard surrounding by a corridor on all the four sides. Okay, as you can see the staircase in the north and in the south or southern side, you can see staircase. Okay, it is made up of fine baked waterproof mud bricks and a thick layer of gypsum. There was room on three sides, of which was large well. Okay, most probably they believed that there was a bathroom for to take bath or for changing the dress. Water from this tank flow through a huge drain. So you can see each bathroom connecting to a drain that ran along the corridor. Scholars generally believed that the place was used for rituals bathing of king and priest. Here you can see a large open space and courtyard is referred to as a college, lies to the east of the great bath. Here you can see a small this space courtyard, the great courtyard and the college. Okay, so this large building have several rooms and verandas with two staircases leading to roof and upper floor. Is thought to have been the residence of a very high official called priest or college for priest. Okay, so here you can see a open space and courtyard, okay, which is called as college. There are large buildings. This is a large building which is having several rooms in this building. So here they can find that somewhere it has been a college in the roof, and in the upper floor it may be the residence of the official priest. Thence come the very important structure is the assembly hall. You can see here there is a four row of 5 brick plinth upon which this wooden column was erected. It was believed that meetings were held here and the column was used for the sitting of the people. So general assembly or general meeting were held over this area. So here we discuss some of the important structure lie within this citadel. So here the upper citadel was inhabited by the ruling class, okay, and was fortified, while the lower town was occupied by the common people. So here you can see the area of Harappa, Mohenjo-daro and Kalibanga show certain uniformities in their planning. Same in the town planning. Okay, so the Mohenjo-daro is famous for its well planned site. Okay, now we talk about the town, the houses and the construction of houses building in the lower town. What were the pattern, how they were executed. So here you can see the street ran from north to south and east to west, cut each other at right angle, following the grid pattern. So here you can see there is a line going north to south which is broad, which was referred as street, whereas east to west are the lanes intersecting each other and forming a grid pattern. So you can see the houses were built along this road. Okay, the main street here are 30 feet wide, and there was an excellent arrangement for sanitation, the waste from houses, the provision of sewage pits and manholes into which solid waste, okay, would collect and would had to be regularly cleared. That is mentioned here, which regularly cleared was the important feature of this time, especially the sanitation, the civic of cleaning, of making the drainage and sewage, and this manhole were there where you can see into which this solid waste would collect, and it was regularly cleared. So you can see most of the house or home were made up of baked brick which were having a standard size, as 28 into 14 into 7 centimeter, which is the ratio 4 ratio 2 ratio 1. 4 is the length and 2 is the breadth. So when we talk about the houses, the entrance of the houses was positioned in such a way that it did not give a direct view of the interior of the house. If we talk about the houses, they were ranged from 1 to 2 story in height with a central courtyard around which the rooms were arranged. So here you can see when we talk about there were 1 or 2 story and there was a courtyard at the center, okay, which was opened, okay, and then you can see uh, that it was generally surrounded by the other rooms. So you can see every house had its own bathroom paved with bricks, okay, with drain connected to the wall to the street drain. And you can see wells were found inside the home or in the public places. Over 700 public and private wells have been found at Mohenjo-daro. So these are the town planning of Harappa civilization, okay, and we have discussed about some of the facts. In the next video we will correlate it with the current scenario.